Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. If you're active duty military, a veteran, or surviving spouse who's eligible for the VA loan, then you might already know that you can use your VA benefit to buy an existing home. But what a lot of people don't realize is that in some cases, you can also use that same benefit to buy land and build a custom home from the ground up. And honestly, that's one of the most misunderstood VA loan topics out there. People assume that you need massive down payments, or you assume that the VA doesn't allow it. They assume that you have to be wealthy to build a home. And while it's definitely more complex than buying an existing house, it's absolutely possible. So today we're going to be walking through the entire process from getting pre-approved all the way down to getting the keys to a home built specifically for you. And if you ever dreamed of owning land and building your forever home on it using your VA benefits, then this episode is for you. So first things first, what exactly is a VA construction loan? A VA construction loan is a loan backed by the Department of Veterans Affairs that allows eligible veterans and service members to finance the construction of a new primary residence. Think about it like combining the purchase of a land and the cost to build a house and your permanent mortgage all into one process. Now, I do want to clarify something. The VA itself doesn't lend the money. The VA guarantees a portion of the loan to the approved lenders. Now, that guarantee reduces the lender's risk and allows qualified borrowers to access favorable financing terms. And here's where things get tricky. The VA allows construction loans. The challenge is that not every lender offers them. In fact, finding a lender that specializes in VA construction lending is usually one of the biggest hurdles in the entire process. So who can actually use this benefit? Well, generally speaking, eligibility is very similar to a traditional VA loan. You qualify if minimum service requirements, a veteran who meets the eligibility guidelines, certain National Guard or reservist members, or some surviving spouses. Now, step number one is getting your certificate of eligibility, commonly called a COE. That's a document that confirms to the lender whether you're eligible to use the VA loan benefit. And most lenders, they can pull this electronically for you. Now, here's another important part. Just because you're eligible for a VA financing doesn't automatically mean you'll qualify financially. Lenders are still evaluating things like your income, your debt to income, your credit profile, your employment history, whether you can comfortably afford a payment. The VA benefit opens the door. You still have to show up and show that you can responsibly walk through it. Before you ever start shopping for land, before you start sketching your floor plans or pinning dream kitchens in Pinterest, get pre-approved. I cannot stress this enough. A pre-approval gives you a realistic understanding of your budget, because building isn't just about the house itself. It's about the land, the site preparation, the utility connections, permits, construction costs, potential upgrades, contingency reserves. You need to know your numbers up front. And that's going to prevent a lot of headache later. This is also why you'll identify lenders who actually do VA construction loans. Let's talk about the land. There are a few ways that this can work. Maybe you already own the land, or maybe you're buying the land as part of a transaction, or maybe you're buying it through the builder's development. The most important thing to understand is that property must ultimately support a home that becomes your primary residence. This isn't intended for investment properties. This is intended for vacation homes. It's meant to help veterans build a place where they're actually going to live. The lender will evaluate the land itself. They'll want to ensure that the property is suitable for the construction, and things like access to utilities, zoning requirements, septic considerations, surveys, overall feasibility becomes part of the conversation. Now, this part surprises a lot of people. You can't just hire anybody. Most VA construction lenders have builder requirements, and the builder typically needs to be licensed, properly insured, financially stable, and approved by the lender. Well, why is that? Well, because the lender's taking on the risk during the construction. They want to have the confidence in the person who's building the home and knows what they're doing. Somebody that can trust to actually finish the project. So if your cousin builds homes on the side, he might be fantastic, but if he doesn't meet the lender's requirements, then it may not work. Choosing the right builder isn't just about price either. It's about communication, reputation, experience, timelines, and making sure everyone involved can successfully get you to the finish line. Now, here's something that's unique. The VA appraisal happens before the house even exists. Instead of appraising a completed home, the appraisal reviews the plans, the specifications, the proposed construction details, comparable homes, ultimately determines what the completed property should be worth. It's called the as-is value. In other words, if this home gets built exactly as planned, what's it expected to be worth? That value becomes incredibly important because it affects the finances approval and the loan structure. So how does a builder actually get paid? Well, it's not one giant check. Construction loans use what's called draw schedules. As milestones are completed, the builder requests funds. Those stages often include site preparations, foundation completion, framing, mechanical systems, interior completion, and final construction. Inspections usually occur throughout the process to verify that the work has been completed before the funds are released. That protects the lender, it protects the VA, and honestly, it protects you too. So how long does all of this take? Well, the answer is, it depends. Finding land can take time. Builder's approval can take time. Permits, those take time. Weather delays happen. Supply chain issues happen. Labor shortages happen. Generally speaking, construction timelines can range anywhere from several months to well over a year, depending on the complexity. It's not like this is Amazon Prime. You don't just click buy it now and then a house gets delivered in 2 days. Building requires patience, flexibility, and realistic expectations. But for many families, the end result is completely worth it. Well, let's talk about a few mistakes that I see people make. Number one, falling in love with the land before ever talking to a lender. Number two, assuming that the VA lender offers construction financing. 3 is underestimating the true cost of building. 4 is considering a builder solely based on price. 5 is your major financial changes during a construction. You don't want to finance a new truck. Don't open several new credit cards. Don't quit your job. Don't dramatically change your financial profile. Just because you started the process does not mean that a lender ever stops evaluating the risk. And I think one of the reasons that I love the VA benefits is because I've seen firsthand how powerful they can be. As a veteran, we're taught to adapt, overcome, just figure it out. But sometimes we underestimate the opportunities available to us because nobody ever explains them. The benefit isn't just about buying 4 walls and a roof. It's about creating stability, building a place where your kids can grow up, where the holidays happen, where memories get made. And for some people, that dream home already exists. But for others, it hasn't been built yet. And if you're building your own home has always felt just out of reach, then maybe it's worth having this conversation. If you're an active duty service member, a veteran, and you've been wondering whether building a home with the VA benefits is even possible, then I hope this episode has given you some type of clarity. And if you're considering it, the next step isn't to start shopping for granite countertops. It's to start talking with a lender who understands VA construction and figuring out what options are available for you. If you found this episode helpful, subscribe, share it with somebody who served, leave a review so that more veterans can learn about the benefits that they've earned. And if you're here in Central Florida and you like help navigating through the process, connecting with the right professionals, or simply understanding your options, then I'd be happy to help you figure out what's the next step for you. I appreciate y'all joining us today. I'll see you on the next one.